Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic/non-classic. This is episode number 411, Doubleshot number 332. Yes, a video version of the series. Okay. All right. Two Batman trades. First up, it's Batman Arkham, Mr. Freeze, and this book contains Batman number 121, 308, 375. And 525 and the first annual for the second volume of the series, along with Teta Comics 373 and 575, Batman Mr. Freeze number 1, Batman Gotham Knights number 59, and Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 190 to 191. There's a typo in here. The first story, Batman 21, that is actually the first appearance of Mr. Freeze. This is the second time this issue has been collected in trade that I can think of. Now, this is what Mr. Freeze looked like in his day appearance. And he called himself Mr. Zero. Yep. The only time I've seen this issue collected was actually in, well, this story anyways, was actually in Batman TV stories. And this is essentially what he looked like in his day appearance. And he's kind of cured at the end, but he's brought back his first, well, I would say his first appearance after that will be about 9 years later. Yeah, 9 years later, where he looked very weird. It's an odd redesign that they give him in here. Yeah. This is Mr. Freeze's second appearance, and isn't that a very odd-looking costume? Yeah, it's kind of similar to his first outfit he wore in the Batman 60s show. Now here's his third appearance that's shown here. Now this outfit he's seen here, that's actually the outfit he would wear most of the time he was seen pre-Crisis, with the exception of one appearance. But yeah, his third costume he wears in here, I think he wore this costume once, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Where he looked like this silly thing. Yeah, that's his attire. It looks so freaking silly. Yeah, that apparently was the costume he wore. The costume he wears on the cover here, that's actually his attire he wore basically close to around the time of the Flashpoint reboot. Yeah, he wore this costume. He had attire for a long time. Though in a flashback, he would wear, in a couple of appearances he would be in, his outfit will look like this, basically, usually in like one-off stories, but a lot of the time it was this particular attire. Heck, he even wore this suit when in the Batgirl series toward the end of when he briefly brought back his late wife. His outfit he wears here, let's see, what's a good picture of it? It's trying to get a good view of it. Look at it closely. It looks kind of similar to that of the outfit he wore in the Batman animated series. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that. And those of you wondering, what does his current attire look like now? Yeah. What does his outfit look like? Well, let me show you. Let's see, where is it? Here he is. This is what he currently looks like right now. Yeah, that's his current attire right now. He's wearing this outfit since 2012. And the annual in here from Batman number 1, this annual was criticized because people didn't like the fact that his origin story was changed to that the woman who people thought for years was his wife was not really his wife. And for some reason, they replaced the owner of Goth Corp with Bruce Wayne for some reason. Yeah, I have no idea why. And apparently, Victor Fries worked for Wayne Enterprises, which, honestly, that makes no sense at all. I don't get why. The story itself is not bad. It's actually a pretty good story. Just that, I do kind of agree with the criticism. Why change a good origin story for him? As a matter of fact, the cover here is actually for Mr. Freeze number 1. And that is the adaptation of the two-parter Heart of Ice, which basically remained canon for years. Now that story was done by Paul Dini. His first appearance Batman 21. That's actually done by Dave Wood. Gardner Fox does the Ted the Comics issue. Doug Moak actually does 2 stories in here. He does issue 375 and 525. Lee Wein does Batman 308. Jeff O'Hare does Detective Comics 595, the 2-parter from Legends of Dark Knight that's actually done by Jay Torres, and of course the annual is done by Scott Snyder and James Tynion. I should point out though, the 525 issue, the artist for that issue is Kelly Jones. Yep, Kelly Jones. The Gotham Knights issue is done by Robbie Morrison. The cover for the issue is done by Jay Lee. The first appearance of him, the cover is done by the late Curtis Swan. 308, that's actually done by the late Jim Aparo. 375, that's actually one of the artists for that one is Claus Johnson, who is actually the inker of the recent completed Batman the Dark Knight 3 Master Race. Yep. Now, none of the stories in here are bad per se. No, they're all really good stories. Heck, even his first appearance is actually really good. I actually enjoy it. Some people might not enjoy it because it's sort of, well, a bit of a Silver Age goofiness in a way, but it's still an enjoyable story nonetheless. And if you're wondering, why was he called Mr. Zero in his first appearance? Because that's what he was, despite the fact it's Mr. Freeze. It was thanks to Batman's 60 TV show, which he changed his name to Mr. Freeze. On that show, he was portrayed by 3 different actors. 2 German actors and an Austrian one. Well, from Australia. The 4th actor portrayed in Batman Robin, that was Arnold Schwarzenegger, known for dropping live ice puns, and the 5th actor recently portrayed him on the Gotham TV show, which, in my honest opinion, some people do agree with me on this one. That version is a lot better than Schwarzenegger, because he's very sympathetic, despite the fact him showing up prior to Batman show really makes no sense. It's the way Gotham works, okay? But I also gotta give praise to the voice actor who did Mr. Freeze from the 2-parter Heart of Ice, and the one who did him on the show itself. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. The people who portrayed him on the Batman TV show was George Sanders, Otto Preming, and Ellie Watch. Yeah. Nathan Darrow did him in the Gotham series. Michael Estrada did him in the Batman animated series. And I also got to bring up the one who did him in the Batman Arkham games. Maurice LaMarche. Yeah. He did an awesome job portraying Mr. Freeze. It was a really good role, the one who portrayed him in that series. Yeah. Though I should also point out Clancy Brown voiced him in The Batman. In the Arkham series, he appeared in, let's see. He appeared in Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight. Yeah. And some people don't like Arkham Origins. Oh yeah, because it's not canon, because it's not made by Rocksteady. It is canon because the fact the game is referenced several times throughout the course of Arkham Knight. One way is how Firefly references basically how he was beat up by Batman in Arkham Origins. Yeah, though he appear in Arkham Origins, though in a DLC, which is a remake of the classic story Heart of Ice. But this tree is fantastic. I highly recommend people who are fans of Mr. Freeze. I start to point it for Mr. Freeze. For me personally, he's my 4th favorite Batman villain. He's just awesome. 9 out of 10. Next up is Batman Wildcat. Now, all that's in here is just Batman Wildcat 1 through 3, Catwoman Wildcat 1 through 4, and Brave and Bold 88, 97, 110, 118, 127. The Batman Wildcat series and the Batman and the Catwoman Wildcat series, those have 2 writers, Chuck Dixon and B.O. Smith. And of course, you also have Sean Sergio Corrido, I think it's pronounced his name. He's the artist for both series. Let's see. The cover artist for the first issue is actually done by the awesome Tony S. Daniel. Yeah, this is Tony S. Neal artwork from 1997. Yep. Now, also they threw in here not only those two miniseries of Batman Wildcat team up, and of course the two miniseries of Catwoman Wildcat. They also threw in his appearances from Brave and the Bold, approximately 5 appearances, which were all done by the late Bob Haney. Oh, just somebody should point out though before I continue about Bob Haney, before I continue about Brave and Bold issues. There's one other character I forgot to mention when I read Bob Haney when I talk about the Super Sense review. Like I brought up the fact that he created Teen Titans, he created Wonder Girl, and he created Metamorpho. There's one other character he's famous enough for creating, the Enchantress, the main villain of Suicide Squad. Yep, he created that one too. And he also has unofficial credit basically for creating Doom Patrol. The artist for him, for his Brave and Bold stories, Arv Narvak did Brave and Bold 88, Bob Brown did 97, and the last three books, which is 110, 118, 127, those were all drawn by Jim Aparo. Neil Adams is the cover for issue 88. Yep. He does not do the interior, but he does do the cover. Yep. Now, the two miniseries were the Batman / Wildcat, and the other one were Catwoman teams Wildcat. They're great comic books, and just great stories nonetheless. I don't want to spoil too much of these stories, despite the fact that the first miniseries here is 20 years old. But yeah, it just basically them team up together to fight crime. Now, the miniseries itself was kind of loosely adapted into an episode of Justice League, where you have where at one point in the series where Wildcat fights in an underground arena, and here he fights Batman. Though in the anime TV series, in the Justice League show, he fights Black Canary, because in the comics he trained Black Canary. He also trained Batman and Catwoman, and it's also the end of the Catwoman Wildcat series. Well, it's kind of implied Wildcat has a thing for Selina Kyle. And this implied those two have basically previously slept together. Yeah. But the two miniseries are awesome. Jack Dixon does a great job doing both of these two series. And the Wildcat stories, Brave and Bold, those are actually from Earth 1. That's the Earth 1 version of Wildcat, because people think of Wildcat pre-Crisis, they think of from Earth 2, part of the JSA. The one from Earth 1 has basically no backstory. The only thing he has in common with his Earth 2 counterpart, aside from sharing the identity of Wildcat, is that he's an ex-boxing champ. He's a heavyweight champion. As a matter of fact, it's mentioned in both the first two miniseries that he's an ex-boxing champ. Yeah. Oh, and every time he shows up in here, he's always got gray in his hair. That's just the way he is. But yeah. Everything here is great. I give the book a 9.5 out of 10. It's amazing. Okay. So, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 412 and Doubleshot number 333. Okay? Until then, I will see you there. Bye.